Hello everybody, this is tokyobassist here, and I'm here with another impressions video, and this time we're going to be taking a look at Nioh, the new IP here from Koei Tecmo, and Team Ninja is the one that developed this game. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with Team Ninja, these are the same folks that brought you Ninja Gaiden, Dead or Alive, those games. And now, I'm gonna be basically this impression video is not gonna be a little different from others, I guess, because I'm gonna be talking about this through the perspective of a person that plays the From Software Soul series or like Bloodborne. And the reason why I say that is because this game has a lot of similarities between it in terms of gameplay and whatnot. Um, so I'll be basically talking about it from the perspective of that. So if you're not familiar with those games, I suggest you go ahead and check those games out. They're pretty rad. Um, but let's go ahead and get started. Nioh is it's gonna cater towards that crowd because if you have been one of those fans that's been dying for like a new Onimusha game or just can't get enough of that Souls gameplay, this is definitely gonna be that game for you. Um, it's definitely more combat and action oriented compared to other compared to like the Souls series. And I think what's really interesting about this game is that it's not the fact that it's challenging, it's how it actually utilizes different stances and whatnot. It's very much combat oriented compared to Dark Souls, I feel like, in more of a skill oriented kind of sense. Now, the stamina gauge, like how that works, it's really different. It's basically the crux of this whole game. If you can't manage it, you're basically fucked. You know, what's really cool about it is that enemies actually will have stamina gauges as well. So you have to utilize that. There's a huge element of strategy as well as skill and execution involved. And right here, as you can see, these graves, like these little graves, you can fight revenants of other players' phantoms, basically like in the Souls games. Uh, And as you can see, this guy's walloping me. It doesn't take much to die in this game. And just like Souls, you know, you have like a little, like a familiar of sorts, a spirit. And, you know, you just go back to that point and you collect all your Amurita in this game, as they call it, is basically your souls currency. Now, what's really cool about it is, unlike Dark Souls PvP, there's no real true like actual player versus player PvP. It's going to be more oriented around like these phantoms, and they're going to be like your source of income as well as loot and whatnot. And as you can see in the ring, you know, loot's rarity is determined by color, so those are a little bit more higher level gear than most things, and you can kind of get information on like that phantom. And it's really interesting. You know, obviously these shrines kind of function like bonfires. You can level up here. You know, make offering is basically trading in your items for Amurita or souls, so you can actually utilize that to help you level up. You know, equip your jutsus. This is where you also utilize the summon mechanic of the game, where you can get help from other players. Um, you have to offer one of these cups, the Ochoko cups, and you know, just kind of back out, and then you'll see how it's loading in the upper right hand side of the screen. That's what that'll do. It'll just search for people, and so far from my time with this alpha, I will say that it does take a little bit of time. I'm not quite sure how matchmaking exactly is determined in this game yet, but I don't know, I like it so far. It's different. It's not exactly Souls, but that's also not what I want. It's a different flavor. It's a very different flavor of the game. As you can see, the lower bar is the opponent's stamina, and right there, that's how you take care of him. That guy was kind of easy, but yeah, like it's really interesting how there's a lot of micromanaging. I guess you could say, yeah, okay, cool. We actually got a visitor. All right, cool. You know, you can do gestures just like in Souls and stuff like that. You know, ha. You know, do all that fun stuff. You know, item resource management and stuff like that. It's a big thing in this game. right here is your skill tree. You can actually see quite a bit of cool stuff here, like where you can actually improve like the combos and stuff of your strings. Lots of variety of stuff, you know. Skill customization, yeah, you can actually allocate different moves and stuff like that. Really interesting stuff. Oh god, that connection though. This guy's lagging all over the place. But it's a really interesting game. Like, you know, there's a whole aspect of looting and, you know, equipping. It's more of a loot element to the whole, uh, instead of actually finding items and stuff like that on the ground. But it's very, very challenging. Like, if you ever played any of those Souls games, like, I definitely would say this goes above and beyond that. Because once your stamina's out, like, I mean, you are absolutely screwed. You can't move, you can't do anything, basically. But, you know, I'll say with the alpha, they have to fix a lot of the jank in it. It's just, it's early stuff, man. Like, it's just like it has a lot of promise with what they put as far as the foundation of the game goes. Where ultimately is going to determine whether this game's going to be a big hit or not is really, oh god, whether it's going to really be a big hit or not is whether, like, you know, things like the camera work, whether the controls feel good, you know, things like that. And I think that's going to really get ironed out as we get closer to the end of the, you know, as we get closer to release. And I think that's really important to keep in mind, but I really do think, like, the foundation of this game is very strong. Definitely has a different flavor from the Souls games, and definitely worth your time. Because, I don't know, I feel like people are going to want more of those kind of style of games, no matter how long, you know, how many games we get. I think people are really going to want that stuff constantly, so I think this is a good change of pace without being more of the same or just a blatant copycat. And I think it's interesting too how it's more of a mission-based structure compared to the other games. It's more in lines with like Koei Tecmo's other games, like Tokiden, for example. But I say this all with positive things because I don't think, you know, if it's not going to do enough different, you might as well just, you know, you might as well just play Souls. But that's so far my impressions of Nioh. I hope you guys definitely check this out. The alpha unfortunately ends today. But I definitely say that you guys definitely should give it a shot because it's definitely worth your time. And I think the final product definitely has a lot of promise. Well, this is tokyobassist, guys. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave it in the comments box. All right, guys. Peace.